I am so proud to announce artist Genny Lim. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for being here on this wonderful San Francisco COVID afternoon. We're all still here, thank God. I want to thank APICC especially for the honor of commissioning me for this year's festival. When thinking about the theme, Generations of Power, what came to mind are two things: family and community. My poetry was birthed in this city and supported by the AAPI community in joyous collaboration with artists whose work embrace the hopes and struggles of this community, or Seh Kui, in my native Hoisan dialect. The title, Seh Kui, Community is in the Heart, was inspired by Carlos Bolasan's classic Filipino novel, America is in the Heart, about him, a migrant laborer's experience of US racism during the 30s. Seh Kui is dedicated to generations of Asian Americans like Bolasan, who built this country not from rock and roll, but with rock, hammer, chisel, blood, sweat, tears, and bare hands. Wovoka, the Paiute prophet who envisioned the ghost dance to rid foreign occupation, said, "I stand up and this one of me becomes 100 of me." So today I stand with my proud fellow guest artists to become hundreds of voices for all of us. Thank you.
Community is in the heart.
Seh Kui, on our journey to an unknown destiny.
Seh Kui. Our voices ring loud.
Seh Kui. Our voices ring proud.
Seh Kui.
When Janice Miri Kitani passed away a year ago, there was a void in our community. Her legacy of healing, racial unity, and social justice through her work at Glide Memorial with her lifetime partner, Reverend Cecil Williams, inspired people all over the world. As a poet, Jan was a mentor, a friend, and a powerful voice for the voiceless, particularly for women. For women, we fight for the right to choose, and for the AAPI community. Breaking Our Silence was also a title of Jan's poem in her book, Awake in the River, for Jan, who passed away last year. Breaking silence, the way an old house creaks when it's abandoned. Breaking silence, the way a snow lion vanishes without a trace when tracked. Breaking silence in the 10,000-mile march through the hills and valleys of stolen land and farms with summer squash rotting on deserted vines. Breaking silence against evacuation orders and loyalty oaths, branding the dispossessed enemy alien, Jap, no-no boy, persona non grata. Breaking silence to lift the stigmata of incarceration from bound feet and hands. Breaking silence to reclaim our bodies, our faces, our tongues, our voices, and our children, our names, our canceled dreams, our blood inheritance. Breaking silence for the women who hold up half the sky for their men at war, fighting for the survival of the richest. Breaking silence for the forsaken, the homeless, the broken, the abused. Breaking silence to tell the truth against colonial myths, omissions, and lies. Breaking silence with a fierce courage and clear vision of a lioness who protects her cubs and who rekindles the fire of the sacred feminine. from the ashes of a broken world to give love, shelter, and hope, we break our silence.
From that moment on, in childhood, I lived in a rented house with thick doors as if to keep the enemy at bay. There was a grand staircase that I, head covered with a thin green blanket, walked down, pretending that I was a bride. Long ago, my papa lay wounded on the living room floor, injured by a distant relative. 3 bullets had pierced Baba's body. Another stopped by the watch in his pocket. He lived, determined not to die. I dreamt long ago that my suburban house was partially submerged in water. I could barely walk up the slippery cream-colored Venetian blinds that became stairs. In the dream, Mama spoke to me in Seh, our native dialect, saying, "Hola, I agung huikila, good, take gung home." He, the cook at our family's restaurant, was a Flandoi who worked for us. In the US, we became his family. Heeding my mama, I brought his gentle spirit into my house. From that moment on, I gained a broader understanding of love.
del Sol Quartet. Our country. We are the perpetual foreigner, the too often overlooked, ignored, undercounted, underrepresented, invisible other. No matter American-born or immigrant, from the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 to the Japanese concentration camps of World War II, to the burning grape and asparagus fields of the Central Valley where Filipino laborers toiled, we have struggled, fought, and resisted racism. Our country speaks to the vital agency of our individual and collective voices in speaking truth to power in these dangerous times for social justice.
Where is my country? Where is my country? Where does it lie? The 4th of July approaches, and I am asked for firecrackers. Is it because of my skin color? Surely not because of my husband's name. In these skyways, I dart in and out. One store sells ice cream, and I pick bittersweet nuggets. In the office, someone asked me to interpret Korean, my own Cantonese knitted in steel, my own saliva. Where is my country? Where does it lie? Tucked between boundaries, striated between dark dance floors and whispering lanterns, smoking of indistinguishable features. Salted in Mexico, where a policeman speaks to me in Spanish, in the voice of a Chinese grocer who asks if I am Filipino. Channeled in the white businessman who discovers that I don't sound Chinese. Garbled in a white woman who tells me I speak perfect English. Webbed in another who tells me I speak with an accent. Where is my country? Where does it lie? Now the dress designers flood us with the Chinese look, quilting our bodies in satin, stitching our eyes with silk. Where is my country? Where does it lie?
This is my country. This is my mouth, screaming across the divide of asparagus fields and highways, sucking grapes from virgin vines with brown hands. This is my face, a burning eulogy, howling at you from the fig of one tree left in the orchard of my dreams. This is my body, surrendering to a city of bullets stones. Every death they say is the first death. Beneath each grave lies a fleeting hope of a rival 3,000 years old. To go away is to come back to oneself, to return to the suckling dawn of grass and butterflies. The weight of our bodies, the weight of our bones, are carried by the winds. The weight of our water is consumed in the first drought. Peace, peace, peace is just an idea, an exile's image of God. What is love? What is love to the soldier at his moment of death? What is love? What is love to a child without bread or books? Oh, I wish I could bring you purple violets to commemorate the death of hatred. But oh, I'm no match for a prison of steel. I am 20 years older than hope. This is my country, and it is yours too. I will die as American as you. I tell you, this is my country, reaching across the divide of flesh and sky for you. Lin Wong. Generations of power. There is power, and then there is true power when shared, transferred, and transmitted from generation to generation. Power becomes communal, even sacred. Dancer Lin Wong wrote first Chinese language lesson in my APICC Zoom memoir writing workshop. She will be performing her piece for you today for the very first time. Karen Weller and Alina Gupta were invited by Flo Oi Wong to share a poetry exchange, a Chinese nursery rhyme, and a Hindi children's song. The Chinese poem talks about rowing a boat to grandmother's house. The Hindi poem tells a story about a horse and a wooden cart. Nursery rhymes are important because they introduce language and concepts of a culture to children at an early age. I mean, who doesn't remember our childhood nursery rhymes? Nellie Wong's Tell These Hands links our generations through song and deed, hemps and silks from China to Asian America. Ding Ling taught Nellie, and she still does.
My earliest language lessons. Ba, pa, ma, fa. The chorus of voices in unison recitation. The sound of chalk scraping phonetics onto the green chalkboard. Da, ta, na, la, ji, chi, si. My hands resting gingerly on dirty desks etched with graffiti, someone's name indelible on the Formica varnish. Dirty under desk cubbies, cavernous and black, caked in the Chinese ink we brought every week to practice our brushstrokes. 横撇 go straight curved hooked. We followed these red lines with our saturated brushes, black ink blooming over red. 知吃是日 zi, zi, zi. I remember Wang Dazhong, the protagonist of our stories. I, U, U, A, O, E, A, I, O, O, N, R. The sounds in my ears, all four tones, in their exaggerated clarity, distorted in their desire to remain imprinted in the fabric of our collective tongues.
Yell, yell, yell. Row, row, row.
Yo, ngoi, pu, kiao. Row to grandmother's bridge.
Moi pu ha, jongi moi. Grandmother really loves me.
Gao ngo ho, boy, boy. Calls me precious, precious.
Mun ngoi mama, ho, ho. Asks if my mother is good.
Mung moi ba ba, ha, ha. Asks if my father is good.
Ngoi, up,
Ha.
ha.
I say good.
Yell, yell, yell. Yell.
Yo, ngoi, pu, kiao.
Ngoi pu ha, jongi ngoi.
Gao ngoi ho, boy, boy.
Mun ngoi mama, ho, ho.
Mung ngoi ba ba, ha, ha.
Ngoi, up, ha.
लकड़ी की काठी काठी पे घोड़ा घोड़े की दुम पे जो मारा हथौड़ा
Dora, 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 Cora, Gote, Ditake. Cora.
A frame of wood, a horse on the frame. When the hammer striked on the horse's tail, ran, the horse ran with its tail high.
Korda pahocha, chok me tanai. Kore jiki nai, ni hajamata jo banai. Tagak, 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 tagak.
The horse reached the square. On the square there was a barber. When the barber started shaving the dear horse, tug-buck, the sound of the horse's hooves. लकड़ी की काठी काठी पे घोड़ा घोड़े की दुम पे जो मारा हथौड़ा.
Dora, 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 Cora, Dora.
A frame of wood, a horse on the frame. When the hammer struck on the horse's tail, ran, the horse ran with its tail high.
Tell these hands. In a modest apartment in Beijing, summer 1983, I meet Ding Ling, a writer who I miss meeting in San Francisco. My eyes curious, my ears grasping for nuances amid batiks of mythological birds, their feathers of blue veins, her husband serving tea. Eyeing her every move, I hear her saying at the previous evening's banquet for American women writers, I am not a feminist. You of the West, she scolded in her soft but clear voice, affix that identification upon my work of the conditions of women, daughters, wet nurses, fishers, herbalists, mothers, prostitutes, cooks, farmers, actors, warriors, doctors, maids, embroiderers. The Mandarin was lost to me, more American than Chinese, though footed in the earth of Hoisan in Guangdong, where Mama was born. In Oakland, Chinatown, where Baba emigrated to work, escaping poverty in his home village of Gunduhang. Throat parched, I swallowed her words, wanting to shout, your stories don't lie. Your fiction speaks truth. Your stories I carry, lighting paths and mountain for this American-born Chinese, the world's women. Stories of patriarchal chicanery, subterfuge. I call it terror. Your stories live, thrive. Tell my mama, my poo-poo. Tell these hands.
String Quartet. Yeah. Community is in the heart.
Community is in the heart.
Seh Kui.
The pulse of morning, landscape of our dreams. We plow and we scrape, we seed and create.
Laughter fills our hearts with joyful stories and songs bequeathed to us from birth. Tears fill our hearts, falling silent and free on our journey to an unknown destiny.
Courage, like a gushing river, fills our hearts, sending joy to moistened shores of living, where strength, stamina, and resilience weave within breath of kindness of caring.
Explore the map of mountains and plains, cascades and clay of red earth, cliffs of labor, fruit, linking generations, our feet on the ground.
We are women of the earth. We are women of the sky. We lift our lips to say, we are here. From Hoisan to Gimsan, we are here.
Come, hold our hands to create circles of love. We are allies.
Our voices ring loud.
Our voices ring proud.
We are joyous, residing in community. Community is in our hearts.
Seh Kui.
Seh Kui.
Seh Kui.
Seh Kui. Thank you all very much for attending. Thank you for supporting Pacific Islander and Asian American arts. Let's work together to keep San Francisco Bay Area a place for Asian Pacific Islander art to thrive. Please email your district supervisors and tell them why this arts community is important to you and why you want to continue supporting API art. There's a table that APICC has over there, and they're always welcoming any donations, contributions, and the effort to promote the arts for our communities. Thank you very much.